here. Good morning to you.
All right.
How are you?
Little frivolity in the early morning. That's okay.
You were going to say early trading. Wow.
I was going to say
You're
early
right in
trading.
that business zone. Okay.
It's just ridiculous.
You're thinking inflation rates, Mike.
Yep.
What's going on?
Yeah, nothing funny about this, unfortunately, Melanie. We're watching the latest signals on the cost of living worldwide skyrocketing. Out of the UK this morning, the British inflation rate has just hit 9%. That's the highest level in 40 years. It is being described as a cost of living crisis. And that's probably an understatement, actually, when you think about, the Brits are getting crushed here by the weight of rising energy costs and the ripple effect that is having on everything in their economy. And it's a spillover effect from the war in Ukraine, as energy prices throughout Europe and the UK have skyrocketed. The Canadian inflation data also going to be sky high. Let's face it, 6.8% is the headline that we're expecting today from Stats Canada. And that's got a lot, if not everything, to do as well with energy costs because of the spillover effect it has on pretty much every component of the economy. At the same time, however, inflation, the basket of goods that Stats Canada tabulates, also includes home replacement costs and things like that. And that's gone up, of course, tied to the real estate market. So, yep, it's just basically a thing that has gotten a spiraling effect in the wrong direction. Central banks, which are tasked with keeping inflation under control, are behind the curve here. They've got to raise interest rates aggressively. The Bank of Canada has already said they're going to do so, as all of the central banks have. So it's just going to, and then you're going to see at some point the tip the other way, where you see everything slowing down in a psychological and spiraling effect, and probably a recession. That's the end of this. It's going to tip the balance completely the other direction. As
we're talking about inflation and its effects across the board, Walmart, what did their stocks do yesterday?
Dropped 11%, which I think was its biggest single-day decline in 30 years, which is remarkable for a company this size. And Walmart was basically seen as a test for the greater retail economy, and it was not able to pass along all of the price increases that it saw internally to consumers. So if a huge company like Walmart can't deal with inflation, how can a little company deal with inflation? Walmart's paying like $110,000 for truck drivers just to start. Their transportation costs are way up. Supply chain metrics, everything's, affecting Walmart. Now, we did talk about Home Depot yesterday, too, weathering the storm. Consumers there not quite as cost conscious, if you will, but nevertheless, Walmart is kind of the indicator of what's going on in the retail space right now, with prices going up and companies, not the argument has been, they're gouging. They haven't really been able to do so.
Mike, we've got time for one more story. Let's talk about what's happening at the airports. So we know the lineups continue and the issues with customs, that's going on. And so a lot of people are troubleshooting, should we do X, Y, or Z? And one of the suggestions was that the government should say, maybe let's cut back on some of those flight schedules so that we don't see that bottlenecking. Now let's talk about what is actually happening.
Well, look, there was some talk going through that maybe the feds were asking Air Canada or WestJet to cut flights, but that was not the case, according to Transport Minister Omar Al-Ghabra. He says, look, this is a function of short supply of staff, the spillover effect of the pandemic, more travelers, still the rules in effect for testing for COVID and things like that people are saying, get rid of all that at this point. It's get things moving. Here's the question, just like everything else, does this, though, deter people from saying, I really want to travel? let's go catch a flight someplace. And that again, are people necessarily going to be traveling as much? Does it tip that spillover effect, right?
Yeah.
Road trips, flights, all this stuff was supposed to be coming back in a big way, and to some extent it has. But gas prices are way up, and all the bottlenecks at the airport. Maybe people will be staying home a little bit more again this summer.
Perhaps. I'll be at an airport tomorrow morning. I will report back to you, Mike, and let you know what those lines look like. That should be fun. We'll see you again. I'll be here next week to join you.
All right.
Take care.
Take it easy.